she's really there.
Welcome back, Cindy Dole here. This is Home Wizards, where we love to talk about all things home garden and life improvement. It's kind of like the things you see on TV, but I hope you think it's better because we talk to you and you can talk back to us, and we just love keeping it real and giving you some ideas that you can apply to your weekends and to your weekdays. So thank you for sharing part of your Saturday with me. And with me is a gal who is so passionate about gardens. In fact, she has a book called Edible Front Yards. Her name
The
is
Edible Front Yard.
The Edible Front Yard. And her name is Ivette Soler, and she's a landscape designer and just an all-around bubbly, fun gal. And when I met you at your home in Eagle Rock, I was just so amazed by your front yard.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cindy.
It's great, and it's so. I had to have it on, and so describe for everybody as if we were to drive by or to walk by your front yard, what would we see?
Well, my front yard is a raucous, dramatic mixture of big, bold succulents and drought-tolerant plants, and then tucked in between all that, I have herbs. I have sages, I have basils, I have parsley, marjoram. I also have hot peppers. When the season is right, I have tomatoes. And then that's in my front yard. You turn the corner to my parkway strip, or what I like to call the hell strip, because nobody knows what the hell to do with it.
The hell strip. I love it.
So I put 3 raised beds there where, again, I just grow food. Whatever is gorgeous and glorious and in season, I put them in those raised beds, and that's where I harvest my food from, for anything that I'm doing in the kitchen or to share with friends. So yes, my garden is definitely, it sticks out.
So do you ever go to buy fruit and vegetables from the store like real people, or do you?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to go to my garden and get my broccoli.
It would really be a fantasy if only I could get everything that I needed. But there are lots of things that in Southern California don't really grow well. Like you say, broccoli. I can grow a broccoli rabe, but if I want a really headed broccoli that's very classic, I would have to go buy that. But I go to our farmers markets or the local market and get stuff like that. But actually, most of my food day to day does come out of my garden, my produce,
So you're one healthy lady, I'm guessing.
The more I've gardened, the better and better my health becomes. It's absolutely true. Not only am I moving a lot because, I'm out there all the time, but you just can't help but eat what it is that you're growing. It's fun to eat what you grow. It's exciting to eat what you grow. So you automatically get healthier.
And you get de-stressed. You know what I mean?
God.
You end up just kind of getting into the zone.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's it's the gardener's high, and it's so true. Everybody will tell you it. There's something that happens when you put your hands in the dirt that is like an automatic,
It is. It's like a massage.
Exactly.
What
I
is that,
love it.
you
It's magic.
It really is. Now, do you have a monarch butterfly garden?
My garden is actually, it attracts all sorts of wildlife because I do plant it with a variety of edibles that I let to go flower and beneficials that attract butterflies and bees and other pollinators, like moths are also pollinators.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to plant things that attract everything into my garden. The anise swallowtail is a big fan of my garden because they lay their chrysalises on fennel, and I am a passionate grower of fennel. I love fennel. So I often have the little caterpillars there, and then they hang their pupa, and then they burst forth, and it's amazing. They're beautiful.
Well, you have to try the milkweed for the monarch butterfly. We've been turned on to that ever since we met up with a guy named David Snow from the Pasadena Showcase House, who had a whole garden dedicated to this. And I don't think I would eat the milkweed, but the monarch does, because that's all that the monarch caterpillar will eat. And it's just so fun to integrate all that into your garden.
I believe that it's important. It's kind of incumbent upon us who are gardeners to give our wildlife little way stations, little places that they can land in the urban sprawl, that they can feed, that they can breed, that they can, lay their eggs, and it helps us. It helps us as gardeners. They do a really good job for us.
Well, I also love, besides your front yard, which, by the way, the transformation wasn't making a hit with neighbors initially, right?
No.
Tell everybody about that, because as people think about maybe doing something different to their front yard,
yes,
edibles can be done, getting rid of the lawn can be done, but what happened? What was the reaction at first?
Well, with me, because I never intended to have lawn in my house when I first purchased it. I knew that it was thirsty. We were in a drought at that time, so I wanted to have a very drought tolerant garden. And so the first thing I did was, I was a baby gardener. I really didn't know what I was doing. This was 15, 16 years ago. So I looked it up, read all these books, and I put black plastic sheets over my grass and basically
suffocated it.
And it looked terrible. And so people would be driving by my house. My neighbors would be walking by. They'd be giving me, dirty looks. They would try to talk me into like, well, maybe that was such a beautiful garden before.
Really?
And it was just foundation shrubs and lawn. It was no garden at all. So I kept on trying to say, but wait, just wait. I've got this vision.
And wait, did these people have conversations with you before this happened? Did they know you? Or was this like this really got them? They had to speak.
They had to speak once they saw it. It was I had a neighbor across the street from me who would walk across the street, and he had a pipe in his hand, and he would puff his pipe and watch me work. And every once in a while, he'd shake his head, and then he'd go right back across the street. He thought I was insane.
But this, to kill the lawn, it takes like a couple of months to really get rid of it.
It does. So, it was a trial for the neighborhood, and I understand it because I understand that, of course, the property value of my house is interconnected with the property values of all of my neighbors' houses. And so I do understand why they would be concerned. We're in this neighborhood together. But, at this point where the end game is so much bigger and better than what that moment was in time, once the garden actually took shape, and once, people would stop and take pictures of it, and then all of a sudden, the neighborhood loved me.
We love Yvette.
Yes, I was everybody's best friend.
Oh my gosh.
And then after planting edibles, and of course I share with everyone, because I'm an ornamental gardener as well, so I like to plant edibles ornamentally. There are beautiful, beautiful colors that we can exploit in the edible palette, and so I share a lot of my edibles.
You're the local farmer's market.
Basically, yeah. Who doesn't love a little, bag of tomatoes?
Sure.
Yeah.
So have others then tried to copy you and duplicate this?
Absolutely. Not on my scale, because this is what I do, and it's such a passion for me. But there have definitely been neighbors that have devoted certain areas of their front yard to their tomatoes, to their squash, to different kinds of herbs, and it's thrilling to me because people are starting to think outside the box, and I love that they're taking the vegetables, outside of the backyard and bringing them into the world so other people can see that we're doing what we love, and oftentimes where the front lawn is, that's where the best sun on your property is. Mm-hmm. So if you can get rid of that like strip of lawn and replace it with a glorious edible garden where we're really using our precious resources of water wisely for something that gives us something back too. I mean, how awesome is that?
And when you say that it's an ornamental edible, I mean, you really do a beautiful job, and we'll talk about how we can do this, of kind of creating paths and destinations. And so it isn't just like cornstalk.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that at all. It really is this beautiful, artistic experience.
Absolutely. It's not a farm. It's a garden.
It's not a farm. It's a garden. There's so many fun colors that like you said, not only in the edibles, but the other flowers and vines and things that you brought in.
Absolutely.
With, that really kind of give it texture. And
absolutely. It all counts. It all counts. All the levels need to be hit. And it's fun to do it.
So for those people who are thinking about, I want to do something different to my front yard. I don't really like the basicness of what I've got. How do we get from that point to where you are? I mean, that's a big jump.
It is. It is a big jump. So, and some people are willing to take it. Some people are really willing to dive in and just go, yeah. But, I also say any baby step counts. Even if it's just getting 2 big pots, flanking your front door and planting Swiss chard in them with some golden oregano spilling out of the bottom. That counts. You start eating the chard, you're using the oregano, and little little by little, you might want to start minimizing your lawn. Maybe you don't want to rip it out altogether, but just, start encroaching on it. Make a little, a little bed just for strawberries. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Little bands of strawberries edging the pathway to your front door. I couldn't think of anything more charming and more rewarding when you can actually go out there and pick berries for your morning granola right from your front sidewalk.
Now, is there ever a time throughout the seasons where it's looking kind of messy? I mean, because, edibles aren't always looking perfect.
Yes.
How do you overcome that to make it still keep looking pretty? Because, that is curb appeal.
Absolutely.
Your front yard.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons that I really advocate that this needs to be a process. One really needs to sit down and think through it, because we want our gardens to look good all the time, and our neighbors do. And there are certain parts of the country where these gardens are forbidden because they're afraid of them looking weedy or full of holes.
Yeah.
So we have to plan ahead. When I'm harvesting lettuce, I've always got, seedlings of lettuce that I've thrown in there before. When I harvest, I plant a seed. I'm always making sure that I'm rotating out so that there aren't those big holes. Seasonal planting is part of edible gardening. And so we need to keep that in mind and make sure that we've always got something on standby so that we're just not leaving a big hole of earth for our neighbors to gaze at. It's much better to have something, even if it's tiny, something growing there.
Does it ever get easy?
I think it does. For me, it's gotten much easier. I mean, I'm going to say it, and it's just between you and me. I am a lazy gardener, but I have so much food. I have so many ornamentals, and I love it. And it's because it's just part of what I love to do. And I think that's kind of the key for everyone. It really doesn't turn into work. It turns into play.
It's like anything. It's like your career, right?
Exactly.
When you're having fun. All right. Well, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about, coming up with a garden palette, right? And maybe a garden planner, because it sounds like we got some planning to do. And how do you come up with some great edible front garden designs to really make it look like it belongs to our home and our neighborhood? All right. Talking with Ivette Soler. We got more fun coming up. Cindy Dole, Home Wizards, here on KFWB News Talk 980.